So, and I was talking there about like telling our story, and I think that's super important. And then also, I think just telling story, in terms of like, I mean, you have a forest wonderland here, you know, and just coming up, especially at the age that some of them are still at, like just. So like reading that book from Ben Palpin that I got, The Bright Wing Tales, where he's just like, imagine there's a family of rabbits out there.
Yeah.
What is that family of rabbits talking about?
Totally.
What if they have a legacy? What if Grandpa Rabbit is reading or telling a story to the little, stuff like that, that's imaginative. I do think that is, like I found myself, the kids still talk about a story that I told years ago. It was a stupid story that I made up on the fly about like a unicorn pooping, rainbow dust or something, and they still remember the unicorn story, Dad? I'm like, I remember that you guys bring it up, but I don't remember what I
would
said.
literally have forgotten the story.
Yeah, right
except
away.
that you guys were so impressed by it.
Yeah.
And that's a ton of fun.
Right.
To like, for something that was just a throwaway for you was something that they'll tell their kids about. And going off of your creativity will hopefully build up their creativity to tell their children even bigger story.
That's the very thing that I was going to next. It was the only reason I had been prompted to do it, because I remember I would remember stories for years after that my dad would tell when we would go on camping trips.
Yeah.
And we'd be laying there, and you might have the river in the background.
Yep.
And then you're just laying there trying to go to sleep, and you're like, this is a weird place. You're just thinking about a million different things.
Yeah.
And then
totally.
And then he's just like, well, let's tell a story, and he would just come up with something. And there's these two boys, and they get trapped in a mine or something like that.
Yeah.
And, and they eventually come out and whatever. And then at the end, you don't want to ask your dad, but you do want to, like, was that a real story?
Yeah. You don't want the truth if it wasn't a real story because it was such a good story.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I hope that happened.